The Maharashtra government on Monday formed an advisory board constituting of 3 retired judges to look into this Maratha reservation issue. The government has been relentlessly trying to persuade the protesting Marathas that they are serious about giving reservation to Marathas, and that is why they are forming this advisory board to look into the issue and give the government suggestions so that they can present their case in Supreme Court. The Marathas in the state have been protesting for the past 1 month, and it has become the talk of the town where the government has been trying to persuade the Marathas that they are serious about this issue. But the Maratha reservation issue is not new. It dates back to 1980s when Mathadi Kamgar labor union leader Anna Saheb Patil for the first time said that Marathas should get reservation in jobs and education. But nothing happened then, and he ended his life, and the Maratha reservation issue went into back burner. Then in the last decade, the early years of the last decade, the issue once again picked up. And just ahead of the 2014 election, the then Congress and NCP government, led by Prithviraj Chavan, passed an ordinance where they said that they will give reservations to Marathas in jobs and education sector for 16%. However, the government changed in 2014, BJP-Shiv Sena government came to power, and this ordinance was challenged in court and it did not stand in Bombay High Court. The issue once again went into back burner. But the tipping point came in 2016 when Maratha young girl in Kopardi was allegedly gang raped and murdered by 4 people from her village. Post that, the Marathas once again came on road protesting and demanding justice for the girl, as well as pressing for the reservation demand that they have been holding for the last few decades. Then Marathas under the banner of Maratha Kranti Morcha from different parts of the state came together and started their demand for reservation in jobs and education, as well as justice for the Kopardi girl. There were 58 silent protests that were held in various parts of the state, including one in the financial capital of the country, Mumbai. Those 58 protests, silent protests, were peaceful, but in the next year, which is between 2017 and 2018, the protests were violent, and that pressed the government of that time, which is the BJP and Shiv Sena, to look into this matter seriously. In 2018, the government led by then Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis decided that they will give the reservation to Marathas under jobs and education sector, which was similar to the Congress NCP, and they passed a bill saying that there will be 16% reservation for Marathas in jobs and education sector. But that was challenged in Bombay High Court. Although the Bombay High Court held the reservation demand, but Bombay High Court struck down the reservation from 16% to 12% in education and 13% in jobs sector. Then the government changed in 2019, and once again this reservation was challenged in Supreme Court. Because remember, Maharashtra already has a 52% reservation and plus the 10% EWS reservation. With this another 12 to 13%, it would breach the cap, and that is why it was challenged in Supreme Court. In 2021, the Supreme Court struck down the reservation passed by Maharashtra government. And since then, the Marathas are once again trying to press their demands for reservation in jobs and education sector. Now remember, Maharashtra has 33 to 34% of Marathas in the state. Now they are the dominant caste in the state according to 2011 census. But the State Backward Class Commission report, which came out in 2018, based on which the Devendra Fadnavis government gave the reservation, says that although the Marathas are 33 to 34% in the state, but 76 to 77% of Marathas come from agricultural and farm laborers. There is agricultural distress in Maharashtra, and that is why the demand for reservation picked up. Since most of Marathas come from Western Maharashtra and Marathwada region, in 2022, when once again the government in the state changed and now it is being led by Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena along with BJP, in 2022 August, there was a meeting of Maratha leaders which the CM undertook, and he had promised that he will look into this Maratha reservation issue. But now what has happened? In August 2023, on 29th of August precisely, a Maratha leader, a local Maratha leader named Manoj Jarange Patil, he decided to go on protest. Now Manoj Jarange Patil Although he is a local Maratha leader, he is not a new local Maratha leader. In Jalna and around Marathwada region, from where he comes from, he has been holding this Maratha reservation issue and protest for long time. In fact, for the last 1 decade, he has held many such protests and hunger strike. So similarly, on August 29, Manoj Jarange Patil decided to go on hunger strike, and he was protesting in his village, Antarwali Sarati village, near Jalna. In that peaceful protest on September 1st, police in fact resorted to lathi charge. Police forcefully tried to take Manoj Jarange Patil to hospital since he was on hunger strike and his health was deteriorating. But by doing so, the police also resorted to lathi charge, and from there, this entire issue once again came to forefront. Marathas across the state came out in agitation and they were angry because of the police action. And since then, for the last 1.5 months, Marathas are now demanding that they need to get the reservation under jobs and education sector. After 17 days of hunger strike, Manoj Jarange Patil was assured by CM Eknath Shinde himself that he will form a committee which will look into this entire matter. Now, what Manoj Jarange Patil is demanding is also interesting. Manoj Jarange Patil, who comes from Marathwada, says that Marathwada, before coming and aligning with Maharashtra, was a part of Nizam province. And at that point of time, those Marathwadas received Kunbi certificates, which comes under OBC category. Now, Manoj Jarange Patil earlier was saying that Marathas should get those Kunbi certificates. Marathas from Marathwada region should get those Kunbi certificates. But later on, he then said that if the demand for reservation in jobs and education for all Marathas is not possible, then at least all Marathas across the state should get these Kunbi certificates so that they can avail the benefits of OBC category. After this, now OBC community, who already has reservation and who forms 52% of the state population, is now up in arms saying that their reservation should not be changed. They fear that there will be more competition if Marathas would be given Kunbi certificates. However, Eknath Shinde, as I was saying, Eknath Shinde on the 17th day of Manoj Jarange Patil's hunger strike said and promised that he will look into this matter and form a committee which will then identify these Kunbi certificates and look for the evidences and documents to prove that Marathas also belong to Kunbi category. That committee is led by Justice Shinde. Earlier, that committee was to give its report in 40 days because that is what Manoj Jarange Patil told CM Eknath Shinde, that within 40 days, there should be some solution to this problem. Deadline of Manoj Jarange Patil ended on October 24th, and from October 25th, the second round of hunger strike intensified all across the state. Now in this round, as it intensified, many Marathas across various districts in Maharashtra are now not allowing the politicians to even enter their villages. They are saying that they need some solution to this problem, and before a solution is presented to them, they will not allow politicians to enter their villages. Along with it, there are candlelight marches that took place across various districts in Maharashtra, and human chains are formed and different parts of Maharashtra are coming out in protest, and there are various hunger protests in different parts of the state. Meanwhile, the committee that was formed under Justice Shinde, that committee got a 2 months extension saying that they need more time to go through the documents. As the protests are intensifying, on Monday, the state government's cabinet subcommittee over Maratha issue took a meeting, and they decided now they will form an advisory board of 3 retired judges to look into this overall matter, and along with it, the first draft of Justice Shinde to look into the Kunbi certificates, that first draft is also being accepted by the state government. Now there are 2 parts to it. One, the Kunbi certificate that needs to be checked and validated so that to provide OBC benefits to Marathas, and second, the overall reservation issue of Marathas. Now what the government said on Monday is that they are looking into both these parts, and the government is saying that although there is 2 months extension which is given to the Justice Shinde committee to look into the documents of Marathas from Marathwada region and across the state, they are going to expedite this process. So far, over 1 crore document is already being scrutinized, and over which 11,000 Kunbi certificates are validated. However, there will be more time which is given to this committee to look into other documents and then to decide whether these Marathas should be given Kundi certificates and given the OBC benefits. Now, what will happen if that happens, if these Marathas will be accommodated into OBC? That is something that we need to watch out for, because remember, OBC, as I said, form 52% of the state population, and also OBC is the major vote bank of BJP. BJP is already in power. Whether BJP will want to take that risk to disturb the OBC quota or not, that is something the government needs to look after, because government right now in a bind, because if they ignore one community over another, that will again be a boiling point in the state, and the state will again be divided into caste lines. So what the government does right now at this point of time, it looks like the government is buying more time. But in the meanwhile, Manoj Jarange Patil's health is deteriorating. They are pressing, the Marathas are pressing for a solution, a quick solution into this matter. However, the government can't really provide a quick solution because the matter is sub judice, because the government is in fact presented a curative petition in Supreme Court. Now, Supreme Court has to accept that petition, and only then the matter could be heard. So what the government will do in the coming days, we will come to know. But this is what the entire Maratha reservation issue was all about.